Good Monday morning. My name is Genevieve Jones-Wright, the host of Motivational Mondays and founder and lead empower mentor of Motivation.In.Action or MIA. And I am so happy to have in studio my dear friend Brisa Johnson, who is helping us continue our November conversations centered on gratitude. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi,
Yes.
gorgeous.
Hey, baby girl.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. And as you know, I've been trying to get you here for a while, but this is
I
actually the
know.
perfect time.
I know. It's been a season.
It's
Isn't
been
that
a
how it
season.
works, though? The
Absolutely.
universe is always on time.
Indeed, it is. So I'm going to start off the conversation with the question: who is Brisa?
Absolutely. I think this is such an interesting time to ask a question because this year has been full of so many transitions. And I think what is beautiful about Brisa is she is really learning to adapt to change. She is a woman who is passionate. I am constantly living in love and trying to live in truth. I am a woman who is a mother of an amazing 12-year-old son and soon to be second son, and activist, entrepreneur, singer, songwriter, social justice advocate. And at the end of the day, what I love most about me and who I feel I am is someone who is constantly thriving to be genuine in all spaces, someone who is constantly thriving to be vulnerable, and create safe spaces for myself to share my truth and for others to share their truth as well. And I'm a hot mess sometimes too. I'm growing, I'm learning, and I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of spiritual being, and I'm a Black woman. I'm a Latina woman. I'm from Dago, born and raised, and I'm just really happy to continue to be in a space where opportunities are given to me to not only share who I am, but opportunities for me to continue to learn who I am as well.
And that's what I love about you, because you're just real and you embrace every part of yourself, right? Like the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes.
Even though I've never seen the ugly,
It can be bad.
what do you consider your life's passion?
My life's passion is to create. I am a visionary in so many different spaces. I'm a visionary in my social justice work. I'm a visionary in my artistry with my music. I love cultivating spaces and creating environments where people feel that they could be their authentic selves, where people can live in their truth and be free from the world's perspectives of who they should be, and where people can express themselves in a place of non-judgment but learn to think differently. And so I think for me, my life's passion is to be a creative and to be a visionary that executes in ways that make things of fantasy reality and things of dreams come true. Um, I really thrive in creative spaces. As a singer songwriter, I find the most joy performing. When I'm on stage, I feel like I'm a fish in water. It's a safe space, it's home, and I'm able to just feel whatever I want to feel and act it out, whether it's through lyrics, through movement, through interaction with the crowd. And so I think when I think about life's passion, it really goes back to just being a creative. And I think creativity doesn't always just show up in these artistic spaces like me being a singer songwriter. My creativity has also shown up in the way I operate my organization as the director of the San Diego Black Worker Center. My creativity shows up in how I show up for my friends who are in challenging seasons of their life. How do I give myself to these individuals in a way that's meaningful and intentional? That's a creative process. How do I redefine my intimate relationships? How do I show up in these relationships and learn my partner's love language and meet them where they're at? that's a creative, process as well. So I think my life's passion is to be a creative, thrive in creativity, and ultimately continue to be a visionary, not only for my own dreams, but assisting those who I really care about and love to also follow their dreams and be a foundational support in that.
I love that. So, you talked about being a performer, and I will say that you are indeed a performer. You leave it all on the stage or wherever you are performing.
Yeah, I do.
I know this because you performed at my birthday party a few
Had a
years
great
back.
time.
And we showed out.
We showed out.
Yeah, you had me thinking I was like one of your background dancers that didn't want to be in the background anymore. So,
I loved it. I loved it. That was a great time. Yeah.
yes, and then you dropped an album.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Absolutely. So in 2020, I dropped my first solo project titled In Her Stillness. And to this day, it's just one of my proudest moments. I have always wanted to make my own project. I have been writing music for years. For full transparency, I'm 34 now. I've been writing my own songs since I was about 16. And I've been singing since I was 4. And yet I have never been able to discipline myself long enough to kind of get it down and get it completed. And it was actually in the midst of the 2020, in the beginning of the year, where I was like, you know what, I really want to put out a project this year. Like, I've had so many experiences that happened to me, and I need a safe space to express them. And that's how my album was birthed. What was beautiful is the process began at the beginning of 2020, and then, as we all know, in the midst of 2020, the pandemic happened. And so that actually shifted the creativity and the vision of the project. What initially was going to be a 3 to 4 song EP with no visuals and, just a very modest, simple project ended up becoming a 7-track project with multiple music videos, merchandise, a lyric book, and it just continued to grow and manifest. And ultimately, I was able to tap into a different creative process, which I really loved. I was able to not only write the songs and be a part of producing them as well, and cultivating the harmonies and the sound, but I was able to have full control over the visuals and for the album cover and the album art, as well as the music videos. And then I created merchandise as well, and really try to figure out like what products could I give people that would be a little bit of me, that they could take with them, that would still be very intentional and authentic to who I am. But the project In Her Stillness, I think what I love most about it, outside of just that opportunity to create, visuals and be my own creative director and producer and all that, was really just the lyrics is what I'm most proud of. I write for release. And so when people are listening to my album, you are listening to my journal. You are listening to very raw emotions and real experiences that have happened to me. And I have just found a melodic way that rhymes to kind of paint this picture for everybody. But it is truly one of the most vulnerable pieces I've ever created, because it is my experiences with a beat, with a rhythm. And it's titled In Her Stillness because it came out of the idea of when I'm still is when I am at my best. When I am still, I am able to write. I am able to read. I am able to breathe. I am able to connect with a higher power than me. I am able to calm the water so that I can actually have clarity and discernment. And so In Her Stillness is the concept of like, when I'm still, I can produce and I can create. And yeah, I love her. She's my baby. I can't wait to make another one.
I just keep hearing the repetition of this theme around you being a creator, creating things, producing things as you rub your belly, right? And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see you here in this moment, in this season.
Yes.
Like creating the ultimate.
I know. I just completed a shoot actually that encompasses me as a creator from a different perspective. So I actually did a photo shoot of me in a music studio on a grand piano with my belly out, and just wanted people to know, like, even in this season, we're still creating the ultimate creation. I look at pregnancy now so much differently than I did, years ago when I was in my 20s. And we are truly assisting God in a miracle. And it is, the closest I feel to heaven. It is the closest I feel to God because I have absolutely no control. But what I do know is that right now, this baby is the safest he will ever be inside of me.
Yes.
And I just think that is such a humbling experience, and an experience that I just feel so honored to have. And although, I'm not one of those women who believes, everyone should be a mom, and motherhood is for every woman. I think we all have our destinies and our journeys. And what I'm just thankful for is that God chose me to mother a second time around, and be a part of this process.
Yes, you are a vessel. Yes.
Yeah, with a womb of life.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah.
Indeed. My goodness. Yes. So, what does gratitude mean to you?
Gratitude to me is really the saving grace. I think so many of us don't realize that we are in spiritual battles, and more so than worldly battles. And we're constantly trying to fight spiritual warfare with worldly things. And one thing that I've learned in my journey and in my spirituality is how much the negatives of this world will try to use your own thoughts and your own mind against you. And one of the tools I've realized in renewing my mind and transforming my thoughts is by using gratitude. It has become a huge tool for me to kind of stay not positive, yes, positive, but not only positive. It has really been a tool for me to renew who I am. It has been a tool for me to change destructive patterns. Gratitude has been a tool for me to dismantle toxic patterns, and really get to the root of the causes as to why we make the decisions we make and why we think the way that we think. It's transformative. And it wouldn't have, if it wasn't for this year, I would have never learned how powerful of a tool gratitude is. It was really the seasons of uncertainty that pushed me to have to find new habits to open up new doors. And gratitude was one of those habits. And so for me, gratitude continues to be a tool to renew my mind, renew my thoughts, and change the trajectory of my life. I think what I've learned as I'm getting older and maturing is that life is gonna life. Life is lifing all the time. And the goal is not to be in a space where things are no longer happening to you. It's to be in a space where you start to understand and realize that they're happening for you. And gratitude has really pushed me into that thinking. And so on the hard days, on the days where, depression is kind of knocking at my door, I remember to be very mindful of what I have control over. And what I have control over is gratitude and being thankful for what is in my position. And it's not to say the cliche, well, things could be worse. Yes, that is very true as well. But it's really just to say, like, these moments that are happening for me, not to me. And I want to be really thankful for that. The spiritual person in me can't help but to bring up, the book of James, where he specifically tells us to be thankful for the trials that we're enduring. And I never understood that growing up. I was like, you mean you want me to be depressed, crying in my bed, heartbroken, and saying thank you, saying thank you for this moment. And I never understood that until this year, that I realized that it's not that you're thanking him for being in the struggle, is that you're thanking him because the struggle is pushing you into something that you were never going to do, and a place you were never going to go on your own. That this struggle in particular is taking you to a level that you couldn't even imagine, that leaves you limitless, that opens up more opportunities, that opens up more doors. And you were never going to go there on your own. I needed you here to give you these blessings and these opportunities and these moments, but you were never going to go there. And I had to put you in the struggle. And so for me, now in this season, I look at the struggle and I'm like, this is a moment of gratitude, because this is going to push me to where I need to be to get to the next level that I'm destined to be. And so that's what gratitude really is to me. It's a tool. It's a tool that moves us into the next levels in our life. And the reality is, whatever is for us is always going to be for us. But the tools that we utilize today will determine how quickly we get it.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking about that idea of we can't get diamonds without pressure.
Yeah.
So we should be thankful for the pressure.
Yes, because the diamonds is coming.
That diamonds are coming.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just perspective, people always say you want to be careful about how you perceive certain things, but the reality is perception is a lot of people's reality. And so when we are constantly communicating with things that are, of a higher power, like gratitude, like speaking life into the day by doing affirmations, by praying, by meditating, by submerging ourselves in more positive spaces, all of those things are lining up for something way bigger than us. And that's what we just have to continue to ground ourselves in. And gratitude is just one of those ways of grounding yourselves. And I tell everyone, for me, my spiritual journey and my faith is with God, and that's who I believe. But I tell everybody, whoever your higher power is, Buddha, Allah, God, the universe, the stars, the moon, astrology, your zodiac sign, whatever it is, just know that there's something bigger than us. And practicing gratitude is one way that we can communicate with that something bigger than us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now it's time for the $1 billion question.
Here we go.
What advice would you leave with the audience today as they prepare for the week and they want to be mindful of this attitude of gratitude and keeping it?
So the advice that I would give you all is to remember that baby steps move us forward. I think a lot of times we look at the larger goal and we focus so much on that finish line that we become really overwhelmed by everything that we see and all the pieces of the puzzle. And it really starts with just picking up one thing at a time. It's the same thing like when you're doing laundry or when you're cleaning up your house. You just pick up one piece of clothing at a time. You organize one section at a time. And I think that's how we could best maneuver in life, is just remembering that the baby steps we take, they still move us forward. And it's okay to just start with one step at a time. And so I encourage all of you, as you're going through your week, as you're going through your day, just identify something you could do today that makes your life better tomorrow. Maybe it's just a healthy choice in what you choose to eat for breakfast. Maybe you choose to just go for a walk to start your exercise journey. Maybe you choose to just read one positive quote. Maybe you read one chapter of a book. Just pick one thing that you could do today that makes your day different from yesterday, but will also improve your day tomorrow. And start building those steps. Strengthen that muscle. And don't get overwhelmed by the larger journey. There's so many times I have never been able to see all the puzzle pieces. And yet I knew each puzzle piece eventually would create the picture that I was looking to obtain. So just pick up one puzzle piece at a time. Do one thing for you at a time, and don't overwhelm yourselves. Don't let the pressures of life, society, social media tell you that you need to move faster than you do. You just need to make one decision today that's different than yesterday and keep doing it. Remember that at the end of the day, we're breaking patterns, and when we break patterns, it allows for more light to come through. Let that light shine through, build better habits, and have some fun in the process. We ain't got nothing but ourselves, and that's it. This is it. This is home. This is your home body right here. So have fun. Live it to the fullest, and live it to the fullest one step at a time.
I love that. So let's choose joy. I got that from what you said. Absolutely. Yes. And every day we're going to make a decision to put one foot in front of the other and do something different than what we did yesterday that's going to make our tomorrow better. Girl, I love that. So I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with Ms. Brisa Johnson over gratitude. And I am so sure that you have been inspired to start your week with an attitude of gratitude and just being in thankfulness. And as we embark upon this season of thankfulness, let's just remember that we are home here and that we are loved, we are love, and let's just be thankful for that we have new breath to breathe, because if we have breath in our bodies, then we know that we can fight and make better choices and do things a little bit better the next day. So that being said, thank you so much again for being part of this Motivational Mondays.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a beautiful space to just be able to kind of reflect. Like, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me again. You know, as I'm talking to the audience, I'm reminding myself, like, what other steps can I take today to keep moving forward in my journey? And I'm just so grateful that I get to practice gratitude with you, because this is a beautiful space that you've cultivated. You are a beautiful person inside and out. Your soul is constantly creating light where there has been way too much darkness. And I just thank you for sharing that light with me.
I love you, Brisa.
I love you.
Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Motivational Mondays. I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here, with more inspiration to help you jumpstart your week. Now, if you found this week's conversation inspirational or motivational in any way, maybe you got a gem to carry with you throughout the day or the week, please feel free to like, comment, and share. Because remember, everyone can use some motivation. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you next week.